Just in time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to our show, Game School Online.
Yeah, Game School Online, where we sit down with professional artists, game developers, anybody in the industry who's doing cool stuff. We ask them how they did it, and then we get them to tell their secrets, spill their best practices.
Yes, I am Brandon Pham. This is
Larry Charles.
And we run Game School Online, and of course, we're running the show today, and we are shortly going to introduce our special guest that's going to teach you how to do badass stuff. Before we get into that, though, thank you for joining us on Twitch Live. Of course, you're watching this on our twitch.tv/blue_champs. If you're watching the recording of this, you're probably watching us on our youtube.com/Game School Online to get learn as you go or learn whenever you want on our YouTube to see these shows every Thursdays. And that is when these shows do come on every Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
So you know what's really cool about who we're about to bring up?
What?
And what's cool about this moment?
Yeah.
It was focusing. The person is a student of both of ours when we were teaching at the Art Institutes. As in, there was once upon a time in this person's career where they were just a budding, not to disrespect the growth, but like out of high school, out of the military, in college, wanting to learn how to make games. And now they're at the point where they're coming to Game School Online to be like, yo, I'm such a badass. Check out what I do. And here are my tips and techniques.
As a professional now.
As a professional.
Yeah.
It feels good. I'm super happy. I'm super happy that this is happening. I don't know.
Of course, we're not taking all the credit.
I'm taking none of the credit. I'm just acknowledging that, you know what I mean?
Right. I'm taking some credit. Just a squinch. And so I believe we do have him on. Let's wait for this graphics to finish. And let me try to pull him on real quick. I do see his face. So I'm going to unmute you right now, bro.
Hey.
Lyndl, what's
up? Hi,
man?
guys. Hey, guys.
Good to see
How
you.
How you
been?
been?
Good.
I've been pretty good. Thanks for having me in.
Strong. Yeah, you eating well, so it must be getting paid well. Must be doing well.
Eating well,
we did
yeah.
our best to kind of give an introduction, but if you don't mind, can you kind of go over where you're at, where you've been doing, and then where you're heading, all that stuff?
Sure. Currently, I'm a 3D artist at Outward, and I took about a year break from 3D art to kind of focus on other aspects of my life, and now I'm kind of back. I got into Pixel, Substance. I'm pretty much making up all these projects to go so I can start my portfolio up again, getting that motivation back. Yeah.
And that's an important thing because, especially after school, the last thing you want to do is have more homework. Right?
Yeah.
Especially when you have a job, right? And you're, all right, I made it. All right, I can finally rest.
I get to go home and do more.
I can do more after. So but you, as an artist, as a designer, I bet too, you always have that itch. It's like, there's a reason why I went into this. There's a reason why I've wanted to do this for my whole life. And especially if you're browsing these other sites and stuff, you're like, oh man, look at all these cool stuff. I want to recreate that. So it's great to kind of finally see you get your groove back, bro.
Yeah. I felt I think I needed a break, really. There was just a lot of grind for the game industry, and I got a job and I shouldn't be complaining. That was kind of what I was saying to myself. And so I kind of took that time to kind of study and teach myself new things and explore other avenues basically.
Well,
and I feel better for it.
Yeah, if you can evaluate your situation and be like, hey, look, I need to make sure that I am happy. I need to make sure that I'm well, and I'm doing what I feel like I should be doing.
Exactly.
It's your life, man. You gotta, I respect that. I respect that is what.
I feel like mental health is kind of like a topic these days, and I kind of go with that. You take care of your mental health and take care of your body. That way you can do your things. I think you actually mentioned that, Brandon. You said to eat better, sleep better, kind of think healthier things, work out, and kind of just set a schedule for your life, basically, so you can get these projects going. You don't get too lazy, and you don't make excuses, basically.
Yeah, dude, just so everybody knows, I think work should always be a trade.
Yeah.
Right? I'm giving you time and effort. You're giving me resources that I use to enjoy my life.
Right.
If you're not getting the enjoy my life out of it, you know what I mean? You got
burn out, son.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so excited to see what you've been working on after you've taken that year sabbatical. I know your skills must have been, you've gone up 2-3 levels. You went into the hyperbolic time chamber.
Hopefully.
You came out Super Saiyan 2. So,
So we're gonna go
That's
ahead
a
and
good
switch.
metaphor.
And yeah, go ahead, man. The mic is yours. We'll be here casually talking with you through the process, so it's a
Right
fun
on.
little thing. But go for
Yeah,
it.
it's pretty short slides. I got like 10 slides. We'll just kind of go through it. This is what you would call a beauty shot. Trying to show all of the angles basically. I wanted to do a metal slug because I thought it was going to be a challenge for me. And it really was. It took me about 2.5 months to finish this thing.
Dang.
And I learned quite a bit throughout the whole process.
Nice.
2 different lighting scenes. I was messing with, yeah.
Just so the users know, so this was original concept, start to finish, or did you have a reference that you used? Did you do all the modeling and all the materials and the lighting as well? Did anybody step in at any point to help with any of this? Tell the viewers exactly what you've done.
I did everything myself, basically, except the concept. I did have some concepts. I pulled it up from an online resource, basically the Metal Slug Wiki, and I had some people give me feedback on the treads. I think I have a slide kind of showing the first design of the tank, and I got some files ready to kind of show you how I blocked it in.
Okay.
But basically, yeah, I just knew it was going to be kind of a challenge. I've never made anything this complex. I've made a kind of like a battleship once, but I didn't quite finish it. It was just too much for me. So I thought maybe coming back in, I'll challenge myself, and if I finish it, that means I got what it takes for myself.
Well, I love the proportions. I think you nailed that. I instantly recognized it even without seeing the logo. And as a non-artist, the mud detail that you added looks just fantastic on the treads, and however you did that. If you could make me feel cool and like tell me a little about that, because that's I don't know if that's easy or not, but that looks dope. I think you did a great job.
Explain to the designer how art works.
Yeah.
So basically, I use Quixel for pretty much everything on this project. I use Quixel Bridge for all of these little foreground elements, the little branches and rocks and whatnot. That's kind of pre-built mega scans. Okay. And I did the ground plane or the ground textures on something called Quixel Mixer, which I'll kind of get into right now, actually.
Sweet. Is that a photo of you on the desktop?
No.
Is it a self-portrait for inspiration?
It's just an inspiration. Okay, here we go.
Kind of going over you were talking about finding the time, but also committing to making it finished. Like, what is your typical day to finally jump on this project after a full work day, or is it before a work day?
This is a before. Okay. So for me, I think the reason why, I think we all have this problem. We kind of start projects and we never actually get to finish it. And kind of backtracking on that, I think all these projects fail because you don't have a plan of action. You don't have a schedule to kind of do it. And for me, I kind of started kind of reaching back to my training in the military and realizing that the most active times of my day is in the mornings, right when I wake up. So I actually wake up 5:30 these days to kind of just get ready for the day and work on whatever project I have from 6 to 8, and then I drive to work.
Damn.
That way, when I get home from work, I won't feel too bad if I feel lazy and I want to play Red Dead Redemption or Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Because at least I started, with my own passions in the morning, and then work, and then whatever leisure. It's kind of a balance.
You're putting your purest energy into your passion project.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that, actually.
That makes dude.
Get up at 6, work to 8. I could do that.
For me, too, it's exactly the same way, because after 5 or 6...
you get kind of lazy. You shut off.
You get really lazy, as you should, because it's been an exhausting day, right? And
you use your brain.
Should be preparing to sleep. it's preparing, naturally preparing to sleep. And so it doesn't help you to finally like reignite whatever you have left in the tank and just burn. Your motivation isn't there as much. You're seeing all your Facebook feed, everyone's having fun, like partying on a Friday night. And you're like, this doesn't feel right, because it isn't right. So for me, I have a similar schedule like you, Linda. Like all my best work, at least creatively, is at the first thing in the morning. That's when I'm like really motivated to do a lot of stuff. And that's great, man, that you found it so early in your career to do something like that. It took me a while, man, to realize it myself, because I thought, because of bad habits in my school years, where like burning midnight owl was the way to go. It's like everyone stays until 3 a.m. in the morning. It was like, no.
That's kind of self-destruction, though, if you really think about it. You're pushing past like your sleepiness, and because it feels good. I think like people want to work hard and feel like whatever whatever they put themselves into, it's gonna give them a reward. But like I said, there's a little bit of a balance, and you kind of have to do it strategically, I would say. I've been following this guy named Jake.
Not dying at 50 is the reward.
Oh, yeah. Jake, are you guys familiar with Inktober?
Yeah.
So he made up the Inktober thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he made up the Inktober thing, and I kind of watch his streams a lot and like his tutorials, and he actually talked about how the first 2 hours of your waking up is the most like awake you are in a day, the most creative, which makes sense, because I think like some concept artists, I forgot their names, but they all mention it, and I'm trying to follow it now. It's kind of tiring for the first week, but yeah, just push through it and it feels pretty good.
Quick question, Lyndl. Are you reading any of the Twitch chats or no?
I'm not. I followed the guide. I didn't want to lag my stuff.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. You got some very good fan support in there.
I'll read it after.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
You should. It'll be good.
Shall I explain this part right here?
Please. This is the part I asked for.
Okay, cool. So Mixer is something that's been out for a bit, and I kind of just turned my attention to it. I know everybody's in on that substance hype, but I would like to kind of demonstrate how awesome this is. It's more, artist friendly and kind of cool. You could pretty much make any material you want, and this is how I kind of made the ground plane.
What I'm seeing is, to make mud, you slide to the right. And then it just...
Oh, no.
I'm totally joking. I'm just totally joking.
Here. So these are mega scans, right? This is what Quixel does, I guess. They're with their mega scan stuff. And what you're kind of doing is like, you're kind of clipping these materials into each other, so that more or less of it will show on each layer.
Oh, wow.
And it's kind of amazing. I don't know. Yeah, and then you add a noise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And then you add this moisture here. And I'll show you what happens when you add the water. Now you got water. It's insane. Let's see.
No, it's important, man. Like a lot of... I don't understand. Well, I guess I kind of understand when the kind of old guards are resistant to change, where it's like making it easy for them. And those guys get like they phase out real quickly because of that reason. Yeah. But like the tools enable us to be what game development should be about, creativity, right? So it's less about the tools.
Exactly. And you kind of just want to try to make art in general instead of just making something.
Yeah, sitting there and going through Substance Designer and building things up.
Try to figure out the node.
Because you're making a component of the art right now, right? Like if you spend all your time making the component, you don't get to the composition stage. But if you have more time in the composition stage, your final product may be a lot better.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's a good observation from a designer.
+1 from a designer. This is cool.
These guys are great, man. Look at this. But yeah, I have a very basic kind of understanding of this. I turned it on and I kind of just, looked at one of their examples and did the same thing. It was really just one weekend of learning, and I really
One
just wanted
weekend?
to make a ground plane. Yeah, of Mixer.
Jesus. Wow, way to go,
Yeah, it
Quicksilver.
wasn't. Yeah, Quixel is very intuitive. Like all of this stuff is on the right side here. It makes it just kind of self-explanatory. But I do have this scene up. I'm not sure if I finished this part. So yeah, that's how I did the ground plane.
Okay.
I try to kind of match the color of the mud on the tracks. Whoops, going really fast. Like this is kind of dry a little bit. We'll probably get a little closer once I get the 3D model up.
Yeah.
But yeah, just moving along. This is how it looks like with its wireframes. It's a little high. I tried not to mind like, how much polygons I'm using. I just wanted to make the presentation the best I can
Okay.
possibly make. Yeah.
And
And I'll show you how I broke that down.
okay.
Yeah.
No, 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 go ahead, go ahead. You're getting right into what I was about to ask.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is the AO. This is just pretty much a raw model. The maps. If you guys are familiar with Metal Gear, I kind of just do a lot of Metal Gear references for this game,
And
even
that
though it's
bottom
not
right,
Metal Gear.
the
Oh, this is
little red ribbon.
yeah, that is Dragon Ball.
That's
Oh,
why
you
I feel
can't
better
see it.
about making that joke earlier.
I always kind of put like Easter eggs in there. I don't, it's just fun, makes it more fun. Oh, oops. So the normals were made in ZBrush,
Okay.
and the rest is pretty much made in Quixel, like you all know. I don't know why I showed that. This is the first block out of the piece before I made like a design choice for the
Hmm.
treads.
Yeah.
I asked for some feedback, and yeah, I ended up with the round treads
Yeah. The
basically.
round treads way better. Way
Yeah,
better.
it looked cool.
Oh my god.
This is the first passes when I was trying to use Quixel for the first time after about a year. It was kind of funny. It was just hard to get into, but I'll show you like what I overcame basically. So these were pretty much a reference I had
Hmm.
from the Metal Slug wiki.
Damn,
Kind
that's
of
pretty good reference.
straightforward. Yeah. So I wasn't really like missing any information. I had like everything I kind of wanted to pick and choose in between each version. But yes, let me oh sorry.
What? At least it wasn't porn.
Soyberg mixed with Majin Buu.
I was working
At
on
least
that
it
this
shows like
morning
a cool
before.
character art that you're working like
Yeah.
if it's pornography that would be bad. Oh god, sorry.
No. That's just this morning. Some personal project.
Oh, that's dope.
I watched the Baldur's Gate 3 trailer. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's super
Not yet.
impressive.
I heard about it. Yeah.
It's beautiful stuff, man.
So do you tend to what's your like preference when it comes to making personal project? Do you usually lend it towards um, like your favorite type of games or entertainment software or whatever, right? Or do you just go with whatever is trending based on
I
your own
uh,
preference? Like you're like, I feel like making aliens right now, so I'm gonna make a octopus head.
yeah, like artistically for me, I always actually have made the things I like to make. Um, so in that sense, I don't follow the trends
Mm-hmm.
as much as I would like to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like these days though, I wanted to teach myself, so it's been kind of just like, oh, I'm just gonna challenge myself to do stuff.
Hmm.
After this, it taught me quite a bit, and so I started that Cthulhu character you guys just saw a
Hmm.
glimpse of.
Hmm.
And because of this project, it also gave me the clairvoyance basically of which companies I want to kind of try to get into. So
Nice.
moving forward, I have a new idea of which portfolio I want to make,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically like Western RPG stuff, like
Nice.
BioWare, Treon Worlds, or people who made like Legacy of Kain and CD
Mm-hmm.
Projekt Red's Witcher,
There you go.
Bethesda even.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I want to get into that because I feel like I know more of that content,
Mm-hmm.
and like I enjoy it most. So basically, I'm starting to find my path into enjoying the things I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought for a while that 2D was.
Oh, we had him disconnected.
Oh,
There we go.
There
We
you
got you back.
I'm back. Okay. Yeah, I thought 2D was the only way to kind of fulfill that itch, that creative itch inside. But once like I started to reach my own limitations of that, yeah, I started to turn to 3D, and that's kind of like a recent development, so to speak. So you're gonna see me do like a lot more Western RPG stuff, basically.
Mm.
So, other than the tank treads, I guess, what was one of the more difficult areas for you to kind of develop and model for this model?
Ooh, okay. Um, it was basically just trying to jam pack like a bunch of detail into this
Mm-hmm.
without, without overdoing it, I would say. I think not just one particular thing about it. It's the overall shape.
Yeah.
I wanted it to kind of fit together and be cohesive all around. Um, I didn't want it to look like a Frankenstein tank, and yeah, so basically just trying to make it as cohesive as possible. So you notice that it's a little bubbly.
Mm.
I got some feedback about how some parts should be more bubbly as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like this antenna used to be kind of just straight up. This little, I did this little change to kind of fan out all of these straight parts. That way it's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's
The
like,
metal
granted,
sides
you're
look
you're
so
not
good.
gonna go, yeah, you're not gonna go that close, sure, but
Yeah.
if somebody does notice it, it's just a little bit more impressive in that sense.
I've always felt like their style is like chibi girthy. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they always have some weight and some girth to the things that they make, but it's also very cute and compact.
Oh yeah. Um, I have some of the files I can kind of go through to show
Sure.
the
I'd love to see
phases of
that.
the projects from the block out. Yeah, let's do that.
A couple of people have pressed F to pay respects. One person says Lyndl's my hero, and another person saying it's really amazing. Since you're not in the Twitch to see it yourself, I figured I would share those comments with you.
I didn't realize it became like such a.
Oh, that's a meme.
Is it a meme?
It's
Our
pop
game made it a
culture now.
meme.
It is in culture now.
I wonder if people actually make the
Thank you,
connection
guys.
that we worked on that game to make it a meme. That's funny.
Well, I guess it's like a double meme for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Triple meme if I actually told you who's responsible for doing
I
that,
know, right?
which I won't.
Larry. No, they need
All
to
right.
do something.
There was a key decision made.
F it.
So, the last time we spoke about our modeling softwares, we were kind of like talking about Maya versus Blender.
This is
I'm just
Blender.
straight up Blender these days. Yeah.
Wow, man. All right.
It's just
Now you gotta teach me about this because this is something that I've been doing. Custom shelving. Right. I'm like, all right, I can see Blender community growing. They just got like a 1.5
you could do so
million grant
much.
from Unreal to
Oh
bring
yeah.
Blender, and they're constantly updating. And Maya and Max is just so slow in their updates. 2019 is literally a number.
Yeah.
New icon.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's the only type of software
New loading screen.
at Autodesk that somehow just gets worse every update. Like they
Ooh.
take away stuff and they put it back into it.
Ooh.
Shots
It's like
fired.
it's like a bunch of interns over there, man. Last minute, my hard drive crash. We're switching up the numbers. Let's just take away a feature and bring it back next year, and they'll be thankful. But anyways,
So what does
explain-
everybody use now then?
Well, I mean, professional setting, I haven't seen like a huge onslaught still of developers adopting Blender just yet. It's more on the personalized side. People experimenting. It's still Mac. It's still Maya mostly because that's what the tools programmer love, and that's where they kind of build their plugins around. So Autodesk, unfortunately, is still a huge foothold in game development studio, especially AAA. With that being said, though, if an artist comes on and is like, I prefer modeling in Blender, there are, it's free.
Yeah.
You can download it, and as long as you export it as a FBX
Yeah.
or whatever, and just make it work within your game engine, no one usually has a problem.
Well, what's crazy is like, you know how accessible free is for talent that's on the rise.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm excited to see like maybe 5-6 years from now when a lot of these 15-16-year-olds who got into Blender like in the summertime are now like, oh, here's a
In high
link to it as
school, yeah.
portfolio. Like, hire me, I'm an artist. Or small companies like, hey, instead of paying $1,500 a year or whatever for Autodesk software, or even worse, I don't know what those multi-seat licenses cost, because it's always the click for quote.
Yeah.
Imagine having 25 copies of free licenses that anybody can have. They can use the same thing at home, same thing at work.
Yeah.
The engines have done it, right? Unreal, Unity, they made themselves completely free, and I love that. I'm waiting for some tools to. I'm waiting for Blender to be adopted at the same level as.
Blender is gonna be.
It's
the
gonna
new core, man.
It's gonna be the core because they're such a small team, and they're so responsive to the updates of other software, and they incorporate right away. Yeah.
So their team is
everybody
as
that like. I like this from ZBrush. I like this from Maya. Here it is. Right. So can you kind of do like a quick overview? Of course, you've used Max Maya before. What are the benefits here? That you feel like, hey, these are the highlights that I've noticed coming from the other programs.
I would say the biggest thing is customizability of the whole thing, and you could actually import your own scripts or create your own scripts. Like, I know you could do that in Maya, but it's just a little bit more intuitive.
Yeah.
Like, you guys just saw me make a pipe right here, and that's kind of one of the biggest tools we have. It's like, oh, you want to do something, suddenly you have it.
That's cool.
It's just fast, and then, there's a lot you can do with it, I would say. I don't know if it matters, but yeah.
As far as going like beyond the modeling stage, we're like pulling it into ZBrush, doing your bakes, or doing all that other stuff that I hear Brandon talking about, those buzzwords, those art words. Blender can do. Oh shit! Sorry. Blender can do the same thing. Blender is like, oh, cool. Here's import your bakes or import your this and that. It's like all those same steps. It's not lacking anything that Maya or Autodesk Max is doing. Autodesk Max.
It is not. Yeah. It's about as powerful as you really want it to be.
Oh my god! All right.
It has pretty much everything. Like, UV tools are on par, I would say, with everything I've been using. I like it better than Maya's because when I was using Maya UV, I actually had to go to 3D Code because I was more comfortable with 3D Code.
Yeah.
Versus Blender, like doing it here, there's just a lot of tools within the. You already have it here. You can pack the islands if you want. You can just pretty much do whatever you want in here. It's easy. You could also rig.
Oh yeah, God.
So
okay, Blender wins.
I'm not.
It's free and it does everything.
Blender wins for me.
Okay, I'm gonna start learning.
It does everything and it's amazing.
Well, here's the question, because I'm not fanboying over Blender right now. So, what does Blender not do well? Like, it sounds like they do a lot of stuff well. So, what would you say?
Business.
What does it not do well? Let's see. I guess
sculpting in there. I mean, obviously, it probably has.
It does,
but it's not as strong, right?
No, because it just plays around with the same poly.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, you can sculpt in here. It's not like super powerful, but you can get stuff done.
It's like Mudbox quality.
See if I can even do it.
Quick question for you. Let's be awkward.
Essentially.
Longtime viewer, because I remember that name, asks, since I'm learning Maya, how easy might it be to learn Blender later? That's a good question for both Brandon and you, because I know you guys both kind of went that path.
I would say like the principles are the same for any 3D modeling, really. It's your technique, right? And learning a new software wouldn't make you a better modeler, really. It's your modeling skills that make you a modeler. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, definitely. You should translate.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter which software you should be using, really. I would say like if you learn Maya first, you can pick up Blender pretty quick as well, and vice versa, I would say. The thing is though, like the default when you do come into Blender is a little jarring. That is the downfall. I think
The
that
interface is
it was kind
very
of annoying to try
different.
to set it up. Yeah,
Well,
but once you set it up, like it's good to go for life basically, and you could just keep like upgrading it, so to
Can
speak. You
you
keep adding more scripts.
can you export your desktop setting or your your workspace setting?
I think you
Ah,
can,
yes,
right?
you can.
Oh, dude, there you go.
Yeah, you
Sell it for a
can.
buck.
It's oh yeah, it's in here. So load UI right here in this
There you
box.
go.
Yeah, it's all in here.
Lyndl's
It's
Blender
great. I'm
default.
like, I should get paid for this.
99 cents.
Talk about Blender.
They would pay you if they don't have any money, though.
Put it on Gumroad, man.
Nice
I
for
don't
when my
know.
student license expires.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like,
That
I'm
might-
sure there's some kind of Maya conversion script where they're like, make the controls and interface look exactly like Maya for people who want.
Oh, yeah, actually, what I'm using now is my controls basically. Like
Okay.
right click to go in and
Right.
panning with the scroll button.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you could set it up that way.
Is there a
Um,
default
That's probably the first big home
button
thing.
that you would change up, or do you have to manually change those things?
right here,
Oh, there, okay.
in the input.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's like
Awesome.
nothing can stop you now. You know what I mean? Like you don't have
I
to use
know.
pirated
This is a
modeling
program that I've been
softwares.
kind of like ignoring to dump. I remember years ago when I was making fun of Blender.
You
I jumped
were.
in there. I
You
was like,
said
"What?"
blenders for food.
Yeah, pretty much.
Blenders for blending food. That's what you said. I
Is that what
remember
I
that.
said?
Well,
Yeah.
you can't blame. I'm not gonna lie. It's you can't go back in the past and be like, well, I was an idiot. Like I mean, I guess you can, but
Blenders for making food.
I can understand why some.
You kind of have to just own it.
early on, right? Because they're like, oh, open source. Like I can do all these great
Yeah.
things in Maya, and Blender was coming up.
It was
Right.
coming up.
was
It's like
coming
the little guy that's constantly trying
Yeah.
and constantly.
It's the new
improving.
guy.
It's the new guy, right? So the old guys are just staying old. I mean, confirmation have been set for the last few updates of Maya and Max. It's just like they haven't done shit. And I've met some of those guys. And they are old, right? There's no hipsters over there. So that's fine.
It's kind of sad.
Well, then here's a question for you, Brandon.
Yeah.
If there's any new tool or feature you could think that you've done or used somewhere else that you think Maya or Max could use, like, is there a suggestion?
Oh,
Or is
yeah.
it just
I
they're
mean,
just
it's
not
huge.
innovative?
I mean, just look at all the other 3D software. Moto is like really big right now for a lot of
Yeah.
3D artists, especially hard surface artists, because they have such advanced Boolean tool. You can just take out a chunk and scope and be able to get those bevels like really quickly, right? It's super intuitive. And Max and Maya just hasn't incorporated any of that. And that's something that Blender, not just on the modeling front, texturing, rendering, right? Like Lyndl was kind of showing, like it's
Oh, yeah.
viewport rendering. It looks as good as a game engine, dude.
Yeah.
And that means you don't have to leave 3D program to import into Unity and
So-
Unreal to kind of see it in real time.
Autodesk can't even get engineers to go into the code of an open source program
No, man,
that's
they're
doing
just-
better than them to copy it.
Yeah, Autodesk is just
That's the holy
on
shit.
their money mountain, and they don't want to budge for anything. So, it allows Blender and everybody to take up their market share
Yeah.
eventually.
He's making the
Yeah.
head.
Hmm.
It's just such a easy program. But anyways, let me show you the high poly, I guess,
Okay.
here. So I decided to do all the high poly here, and then I was gonna just kind of beat it up in ZBrush. I try to make the high poly in ZBrush, but it really kind of sucked. So you could do everything here pretty much, like the subsurface modifiers. It's kind of straightforward.
Hmm.
Damn.
Or is it? Yeah, but pretty much it's pretty awesome. I'm just trying to convert you both to get into
No,
Blender.
I'm gonna try it.
Pretty
I'm gonna
much.
try it. I like messing around with 3D for animation and just doing little basic level models like loot crates and power up, like just little stuff, just to like remind myself that I once used to model. So every now and then I'm known to jump in there and like mess around a little bit. But for the fact that this is free and I never have to worry about paying for Maya anymore, because once I think I still have a teaching license since I taught at AI, but that's 3 years. It's coming to an end now that I think about it.
Oh,
so
wow.
I may as well just jump on the Blender train and use it for free.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Free is king.
Right. There's just a huge attitude change among professionals, and that's where it starts, right? Because when you go to a development studio, they ask you what programs you want, and you can suggest Blender to install it, right? You don't even buy it, and then that's cool. There is a world where you do still have to know Maya and Max to operate, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of preference of usage and being able to convert, right, you can still have that choice within a development studio. No one's gonna laugh at you at this point.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because so this whole model, Blender, what do you call it? Quixel Mixer, Quixel Bridge.
Yeah.
Or the
All
process
the
of
programs that you use for this
ZBrush.
project. Yeah.
Okay.
In ZBrush.
Yeah, and some ZBrush.
Dude, because all right,
A
so
little
that
bit
I
of-
know the potential,
yeah.
because like I saw that original model, I still have it in my head.
Yeah.
That could be on the cover of 3D Total magazine, like so. Okay, all right, I'm sold.
Awesome.
I'm sold.
Yeah. Well, a friend of mine actually, he got hired into Cryptic, and I think they were using something else that isn't Blender, but he asked if he could use Blender as long as he can keep up, and then they actually let him, so that's pretty nice.
Dude, I would love to, like, hey, I know you normally buy Maya. How about you give me $700 and I just use Blender and we both win?
Yeah. It's good for
Yeah,
animation
so
though,
Blender.
like you can't really beat that.
Yeah.
But I bet you could do animation just as well on Blender.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the cool thing.
did they just
Because
make a
it's-
movie out of just Blender
Oh, yeah.
animation?
Yeah, there was like a short.
That spy movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Will Smith one?
It was a short they made all in Blender.
Oh, the pigeon. Was it the spy pigeon? You know what? Let me
No,
stop.
no,
Let me
no.
stop.
Was it a short?
I'll
Not
look
a,
it
not
up.
a whole movie. It was like a short to advertise.
think it was a whole
Blender's
movie.
capabilities. Was it a whole movie?
It's a whole
Well,
movie. I gotta
here,
ask my
I'll-
friend.
Twitch
We'll
people
pull
look it up.
I would love to
Yeah.
see it do that, right? Like for the skeptics out there, I would love to see like a what's what competition of like, hey, here's a photograph.
Yeah.
You Maya expert, you Blender expert, you Max expert, you Moto expert, or whatever package you want to use. Do your best version of this.
Right.
We will pick a winner for best Maya version, best Max version, best whatever version, but then also an overall winner as well. Everybody's shooting to try to replicate or like model the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great way to like really like have that new dominance war.
Right.
I think that would be dope.
Yeah. I mean,
That'd be
like,
pretty cool.
yeah. If all artists are the same, you're gonna barely be able to tell. You won't be able to tell at all, to be honest.
Oh, perfect.
People on Twitch are saying that there was a short that was called Spring. There is a full length movie on Netflix that was all made in Blender. There is a connotation, right, still with Blender that that even I feel sometimes like a whole movie made in Blender is like these guys can't afford 3D
Like, what?
It's like what kind of low budget movies? I still think like that. I'm inclined to think like that because of the reputation from years ago, right? But you know, hopefully that's what they're trying to change with. Like, hey, man, this is a Pixar quality movie. Here you go.
I think the proof of concept is what sold me, right? Is like I'm looking at a future of open source technology that's salivating. Like we have an open source 3D application that is free that a professional artist who I respect is telling me that like, Larry, look, it doesn't matter if it was Blender, Max, or Maya. If the artist is the same, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. To know that like one is made by a company that's charging $1,500 per year per license or something like that, and the other is literally free. Yeah, like free for free, no timeshare,
free wins,
and like actual free.
Yeah,
my God,
timeshare.
You know, they're like, hey, come to the timeshare, get a free sandwich and a hat.
Yeah,
but you have to sit down
for
2 hours while we talk to you about sunny Colorado Springs. Yada yada.
It's hilarious. Well, like Unreal is free, right? Unity is free. There's literally no excuse to not get into game development nowadays.
GIMP, if you need, like,
zero
a Photoshop
excuse.
thing. Quixel is still in the beta for Mixer, right? So you can still get in Quixel Mixer.
Free,
Shit, it is like the best time to start a game studio, like small, mid-level.
Mm-hmm.
If you got people who can use Blender, Mixer,
Yeah.
hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Jesus,
Mixer's
what a time
super
to be alive.
powerful.
I don't want to turn
Ooh, let's actually
your
take
work
a look
session
at
into a
that.
commercial. Yeah, I'm gonna let
Yeah, it's okay.
go. I'm sorry. I'm just
That's
excited
all
because of
right.
what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, man, it's a lot of potential. It's a great like I don't know, it's just a great software. I kind of live by it these days. Oh yeah, and this is Bridge. I don't know. Does everybody know what Bridge looks like?
Well, for people who don't,
They do now.
you can explain.
Yeah.
So we are
We
looking
lost him.
at. Oh, he kind of left.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hey, I'm back. What happened?
So tell us
Okay.
about Bridge. We've got it up so people can see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, pretty straightforward. You got like every material you kind of need here. It's kind of, it's pretty awesome. I also have like a pretty basic knowledge of this, but it's so straightforward that, let's see, where's the debris? Like once you grab these things, they kind of come in a pack and they're not really hard to mess with, basically. It kind of tells you where in the folder they belong, so you can kind of plug and play it. And that's pretty much how I made all of the foreground elements. I didn't really have time to make like a whole trunk and some rocks because I wanted to focus on a tank. So yeah,
Yeah,
justification. But
no one's gonna be upset that
this
your
right?
showpiece, right, was your main focus.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So this one also has like a bridge thing that you can kind of, I don't know if you guys know that ZBrush plugin that you kind of click and then it transports you to Maya and all of that. It's like a
Gozi.
plugin. This basically has, yeah, Gozi. It has its own kind of Gozi for every software that you're using.
Okay.
So super easy to use. But yeah, basically I just kind of want to encourage anyone to just start. Um, I think that it's a lot easier these days compared to like 2 years ago when you were, if you wanted to get into the game industry. Just like
So
all these tools are just so easy to get into. It's just crazy.
I will speak for myself and anybody who is
Mm.
interested in opening the door to Blender now that we've had this great demo. Is there like a number one resource that you're like, yeah, and if you're getting started, go here to get the tutorials or to get the lessons or to get the video content that will teach you? What is your favorite resource for learning Blender?
Oh man, honestly, YouTube.
Okay.
I kind of just YouTube everything, and peer to peer. Like just speaking with other people who use Blender a lot. That's kind of the resource I had. It's a little bit different since I work with Blender every day for work. The stuff I learned were from like my supervisors and my other leads, basically. And so these are all just kind of learned skills naturally
Okay.
just from using it daily. But YouTube is fine. Like there's a large library of tutorials for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet. Oh, those treads. Good job.
thanks, man.
So you were mentioning a few times about your feedback loop. Is this like among your Facebook friends, or is it like a particular group that you always go to get reliable feedback?
Just like pretty much like anyone I I kind of come in contact with that has like an interest in modeling that I respect. Just normal groups of friends I grew up with and from college. You know, you guys know about Mark, Michael, and
Mm-hmm.
Luis
Mm-hmm.
from AI. Just the same people I went to college with, and just ask them, some feedback, just some honest feedback, and not just like, oh, good. Like you want to hear the bad stuff as well. So you kind of want to listen to that. So yeah, and also my coworkers, they give me some feedback on like the proportions and yeah. Sorry, I kind of got lost in there for a
It's
second.
okay. The more I look at the model, the more I just see it like animated in my head, like the video games, like all clunky and ratchety and everything moving separately and
Ah, man.
individually. Oh, it's so cool to see this, Lyndl. I think you did an awesome job. somebody who's very
Thank
familiar
you.
with the SNK style from back in the day for Metal Slug. You nailed it, man. You did it justice.
Thank you very much, man.
So
Thank you.
what's
Thank
next
you.
for you? That's my last question. Is what's next? A personal project, or I mean, I guess it's the Cthulhu, but I mean, maybe not.
Hmm.
What's on the horizon?
So for me, the next pieces I'm gonna be making has like pretty much everything to do with my decision to kind of move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I've been having like job offers for game, but it's not within the area. I'm talking like I got to go out of state and kind of out of country, and I've kind of been wrestling with that idea because you're kind of leaving, and there's just a lot of stuff. You got family here and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I've decided I'm gonna have to do that, and I'm excited to kind of
Okay.
just spread my wings. Like I mentioned, I want to get into some Western RPG studios, so you'll
Yeah.
see me do some medieval kind of like fantasy stuff, some dragons. I don't even know. Game of
Okay.
Thrones characters. So
Yeah.
things like that.
Man, I wish you luck, Wendell. I think that you've been the talent that we've followed obviously since school, and you're just a good dude, man. So Lindell, I wish you the best. Obviously, I want to see you
Thank you
successful, and I
guys.
want to play whatever medieval fantasy game that is that you're talking about making. And I encourage you to tell the team to put some brown folk in it from time to time.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, yeah.
throwback joke to another show.
Some
But, just,
Filipinos.
just yeah, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, I'm going to pull it back to this cam here and just say, guys, Lyndl Kempis has sat with us for about an hour to walk you through his workflow, his pipeline, also to tell us the major benefits and ease of use of blenders, of Quixel Mixer, and using Bridge to help make these wonderful art assets. And you can too for the price of 0. Mixer's on payment right now, so you can get it for free. Blender's open source, you can get it for free. I mean, take advantage of these tools, and again, take advantage of this opportunity. Lyndl, thank you so much for being a part of this. We appreciate you being here on
Thank
Game Show
you.
Online with us, and always showing love, man.
Yeah. Any if there's any shout out that you want to give, or any website that you want anybody to go to, your art station to follow you,
Oh,
this is your
yes.
time.
Please follow me in my art station, Lyndl 40K. You'll see me update it some more. Pretty
I
simple these
remember that night.
days. Just that. Yeah. Kind of just chopping it down up until I got maybe just the new stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, please follow me on ArtStation. Shoot me a message if you have any questions. And yeah, thank you for having me, you guys. That was
Man,
really fun.
thank you for being you.
All right.
All
Awesome.
right.
So thank you, Lyndl, for joining us. We're gonna mute you. If you want to stay on, we can talk a bit more after. But this is our time to talk, our time to shine. Thank you for everybody watching us on Twitch. We are on Thursdays every week at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And if you want to support Lyndl, go over to follow him on his art station. We will provide the links in the show notes. And if you want more content like this, go to our youtube.com/bluechamps or Gamesco Online, right? And that is it. That concludes this week's episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning, unless Larry has something to say.
I'm just going to say goodbye. See you next time.
There we go.